Alrighty, boys, welcome back to the channel. Gentlemen, in this video we are talking about your environment and how you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Okay, so when it comes to your circle and leveling up and networking and all these things, okay, what you have to realize is that that shit literally dictates everything. You got to think about it almost as like a game, bro, and everybody's playing the game. Whether they know it or they don't, whether it's conscious or subconsciously, everybody is a part of the game. And so when it comes to your environment, and why I say there's new levels to every single game, is because there's levels to every single environment. Okay, and so for example, with yourself, depending, or just think about the people that you hang out with the most right now, whether it's in person or even online, for example. That's how I used to do things because I didn't kind of have anybody to hang out with, right? And so even though I didn't have anybody to hang out with in the real world, I was technically like hanging out with or surrounding myself with everybody I followed online, or like the top 5 people I watched the most, essentially. And that's kind of, who I started to mimic, think like, become. And with that, it's like you have that at every level. New levels, new devils. And so you can have that at the lowest level where, for example, maybe you're hanging around a bunch of bums. You hang around 5 bums, you'll be the 6. You hang around 5 drug dealers, you'll be the 6. And then you have it at other levels where you hang out with 5 millionaires, you'll be the 6. You hang out with 5, who knows what, you'll be the 6, right? And so forth and so on. The best example I like to give you in really understanding the two concepts is, as I said, where if you hang out with 5 bums, you'll be the 6. And then as far as, if you guys know who Andrew Tate is, right? The reason he essentially bought a Bugatti was to become a part of like the Bugatti club, basically have access to events and other Bugatti owners. Like that's the sense of new levels to the game of playing with your environment. And now all of a sudden he has access to all the dudes that have Bugattis. What do dudes that can buy Bugattis have? Huge companies, huge amounts of knowledge, all these different things, right? And that's why you're playing life, you're playing your environment to your advantage. And so you must likewise do the same. And so the reason I'm making this video, boys, is because I was hanging out with one of my 7-figure entrepreneur friends. We were networking, came over, hung out a little bit, and we come to the topic of just Bitcoin. We're having like the right kind of conversations, right? Talking about money, business, social media, all these things. And long story short, we're with my little brother as well. And then we go on to speak and he says, oh yeah, I deposit $1,000 worth of Bitcoin every single day. It's just like automatic. It goes into my wallet, gets taken out, put in there. And so when he said this is, by the way, the reason I'm saying this in the first place is because there was a huge amount of time in my journey where I didn't necessarily network in the real world. And it wasn't until like a couple months ago where I really started doing this and like exposing my stuff. Like I understood these concepts, but it wasn't until in the real world where I started to have these conversations, for example, that it really like hit me in the face, like, holy shit. And I'm witnessing this stuff like firsthand for what it actually is, and not just hearing it, not just doing it online, we're doing it in real life, right? And so he says this, and the more I thought about it, like the more insane it got to me, because I was like, oh my God, this guy deposits more money into his Bitcoin wallet in a whole month than I currently make in a whole month. Like this guy's putting basically $30,000 away just in Bitcoin every month. And that's probably just one of his investments, right? And then on top of that, he has a huge company doing like 6 figures a month. I'm like, bro, like this is insane. There truly are levels to the game at every level. And what do you think that did for me, my little brother, for our levels of thinking, right? Because when you hear somebody that says, oh yeah, I deposit $1,000 a day into my crypto wallet or whatever, and you're thinking that's like 30K a month, right? What do you think that does for your levels of thinking? Do you think you could ever understand basically life and how things work as you used to, like as a normal person would, and thinking about money in a certain way, or that you can't make a lot of money without going to college or whatever, right? And so why I'm saying this is because naturally, in exposing yourself, in having the right conversations and listening to how more successful people operate, the things they're doing, the degree at which they are doing them too, the amounts of money they're making, all of these things, you learn so much from that. You pick up so much from that. You see what's possible from that in all realms, in all areas. By the way, shameless plug. Me, my boy, my little brother, we're all part of my inner network. Go check it out. It's the link in the description. And so with that, it's like truly realizing the importance of having the right kinds of people around you, bro, and in your circle. Because, I mean, dude, just you think about it in any realm. Like, you hang around a bunch of dudes that are playing video games, that aren't really ambitious, that are kind of just scrolling by, don't really hit the gym, for example. It's like, what do you expect? It's naturally gonna rub off, bro. And I've had conversations even with my little brother, with my parents at points in time, because my parents have seen me not hang out with certain people, or see me do certain things in the way I communicate to some people, all this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I am very, very, very strict with my environment, who I let in, who I don't let in, who we naturally will hang around, who we won't. Because when I tell you that your circle, the people you hang out with, is like a virus, bro, whether you want to admit it or not, I promise you, if the people around you are doing something that you do not like, or that you know is not good, and this can be anything, just like anything, if it's, I don't know, for example, vaping, or playing the video games, or even at a higher level, lower level, like anything, this can go to any degree. What you will see, bro, it's crazy how this works, and this is why I say it's like a virus. It will creep into you. It will slip into you. You are going to slowly get sick, slowly catch the virus. But it also, for the negative, goes for the positive. And this is why I say you have to play the game to your advantage. Instead of thinking and having it be a negative virus, have it be a positive virus, where all of the positives are slowly creeping, slowly leaking, you slowly getting sick, or essentially getting, what's the opposite of sick? Thriving in health, then rub off on you, right? And as I said earlier at the beginning of this video, subconsciously or consciously, the more aware you become as your journey goes on, as you do things, the more you will start to realize these things on why it is so, so important, with why you need to be very specific with who you spend your time with, who you hang out on a daily basis, bro. Because there has been so many times in my journey where I like to call them dream killers, or people that just don't see things the same way. And it's like, dude, you tell I actually heard somebody say this example a while ago, okay? The impact a negative person can have on your life is insane, bro, right? Like, for example, you can go somewhere or tell an idea to somebody, and they can shut it down in short. They can say something negative, give you like a negative response, and because they did that, you'll get super pissed, super mad, maybe even just super down, whatever it was, because of this negative person and the way they always look about things, blah, 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 right? And then what does that do for you? Now, all of a sudden, you're all negative, you're all down. So it's, number one, not good for yourself. But then number two, you go home, bro, when your mom, when your dad, when your brother, maybe you have a wife, sister, whatever, ask you questions or want to talk to you, all of a sudden, like, you're just a bitch now to them. You're all negative to them, all because of that one person you surround yourself with that's always negative. And so for myself, bro, just going through my journey, and seeing all the different points of all the different people that I would hang around, all of the times I didn't hang around no one, all of the times I surrounded with myself with people that were doing better than me, with not as good as me, all the different times. Do you truly start to realize things? Do you learn things? Do you understand how important essentially brotherhood is, how important your environment is, why you need to dictate it, why you are the one that can control it? Like, that's the most important thing here. Is I have a lot of people say, oh, I can't dictate my environment. I'm put in this situation. Listen, you always can dictate your environment. There's always something that you can do. There's always a best move, essentially, that you can make, no matter the shittiest position that you are in. And so just take this last thing away from this video and understanding that environment is something that you do have influence over and something that does need to be influenced to play to your advantage, to make more money, to progress mentally, physically, whatever it is, right? The, just real quick, physically and mentally in short, bro. Like, if you're fat right now, you're not in shape. Number one, question what the fuck you're doing, bro. Ask yourself, why are you not going harder? But number two, it's like if you're fat, you're not in the best shape possible. You don't have like a fucking ripped six pack. And you start to hang around 5 other dudes that are absolutely jacked, that are absolutely killing the game physically and mentally, that are straight dogs. What do you think's gonna happen, bro? What do you think's gonna happen? You're gonna get a fucking six pack. You're gonna start eating the same way that these guys are. You're gonna start hitting the gym the same way these guys are. You're gonna start moving the same fucking way these guys are. You're gonna have the confidence these guys have. All these things. Okay? So boys, with that being said, hopefully you took something valuable from this video. Again, shameless fucking plug. If you need to surround yourself, you need to dictate your environment, you can check out the inner network that I run, the fucking Brotherhood. Surround yourself with straight killers. Love you guys as always, and I will see you in the next video.